Okay, let me paint a picture. You wake up in the morning, and before you even get out of bed, the anxiety hits. You're running numbers in your head. Rent is due in 5 days. You've got maybe $300 in your account. Your credit card is maxed, and somewhere in the back of your mind, there's this voice just quietly telling you that you're never going to get out of this, that this is just how your life is now, that financial stability is for other people, people who started with more, people who got lucky, not you. I've heard from so many people who felt exactly that way. And here's what I want to tell you right now before we get into anything else. That voice is lying to you. Because financial chaos is not a permanent condition. It is a temporary situation with a very real, very specific, very executable exit. And today, I'm going to walk you through exactly how to find it. Not in 10 years, not when you finally get that raise. In 180 days, 6 months. Starting from wherever you are right now. Before we get into the plan, I got to acknowledge something real. If you're in financial chaos right now, it probably didn't happen because you're irresponsible. It happened because life is expensive and unpredictable, and nobody ever actually sat you down and taught you how any of this works. Nobody explained compound interest in a way that made sense. Nobody told you what a credit utilization ratio was before you maxed out your first card. Nobody warned you that one medical bill or one job loss could unravel years of progress in a matter of weeks. You were handed a complicated system with no instruction manual and expected to figure it out on your own. So if you're behind right now, that's not a character flaw. That's just the reality of navigating a financial system that was never really designed to explain itself to you. But here's the good news. The same system that got you here can be learned. And once you learn it, you can use it to get yourself out. All right, let's talk about the actual 180-day plan, because this only works if it's specific. Vague advice doesn't change lives. Specific steps do. So here's how the 6 months actually break down. Days 1 through 30 are about one thing only: clarity. You cannot fix what you cannot see. So the very first move is a complete financial inventory. Every single dollar coming in, every single dollar going out, every debt, every balance, every subscription, every bill. Write it all down. Put it somewhere you can look at it. This step feels uncomfortable because seeing the full picture can be scary, but you cannot navigate out of chaos with your eyes closed. Most people who do this exercise find at least 2 or 3 places where money is leaking out that they didn't even realize. A forgotten subscription here, an automatic renewal there. Getting clear on the full picture is not just the first step, it is the foundation that every other step is built on. Days 30 through 60 are about stopping the bleeding. Once you can see where your money is going, your job is to cut every single non-essential expense that is not actively improving your life. And I mean ruthlessly, not permanently, just for now. The goal in this phase is to create margin. Even $50 a month of breathing room changes your psychology around money in a way that is hard to explain until you feel it. You go from reactive to slightly in control, and that shift matters more than the $50 itself. Days 60 through 90 are about building your first wall. That wall is a starter emergency fund. $500. That's the target for this phase. Not $1,000, not 3 months of expenses, just $500 sitting in a separate account that you do not touch under any circumstances except a genuine emergency. This is the single most important financial move you can make when you're in chaos, because it breaks the cycle where every unexpected expense sends you straight to a credit card or a payday loan. $500 isn't financial freedom, but it is the difference between a bad week and a financial spiral. Days 120 through 150 are about tackling debt strategically. By this point, you've got clarity, you've cut expenses, and you've got a small cushion. Now it's time to start attacking what you owe. The most effective method for most people is the debt snowball. You list every debt from smallest to largest balance. You make minimum payments on everything, and you throw every extra dollar you've got at the smallest debt first. When that one is gone, you roll that payment into the next one and the next. The psychological momentum of knocking out that first debt completely is genuinely one of the most powerful motivators in personal finance. It makes the whole thing feel real, feel winnable, and that feeling keeps you going. Days 120 through 150 are about income, because here's the truth. If your expenses are already cut to the bone and your income just isn't enough, budgeting alone won't get you there. This is the phase where you look seriously at ways to bring in extra money. Freelancing, gig work, selling stuff you don't use, picking up extra shifts. Even an extra $200 or $300 a month in this phase dramatically accelerates everything else you've been building. And days 150 through 180 are about locking in the habits, reviewing your budget weekly, checking your progress, celebrating the wins, even the small ones, and starting to think about what comes next. Because by day 180, your financial life should look meaningfully different from where it started. Now here's something I want you to understand about why this works. It's not magic. It's not some secret that wealthy people are hiding from you. It works because of one simple principle that the financial system almost never teaches people clearly. Small, consistent actions compound over time. The same way that debt spirals downward when you keep adding to it, financial stability builds upward when you keep adding to it. Every month you stick to a budget, your stress goes down a little. Every debt you eliminate, your cash flow goes up a little. Every dollar in your emergency fund makes you slightly less vulnerable to the next unexpected expense. None of these moves are dramatic on their own, but stacked on top of each other over 6 months, they create a completely different financial reality. The reason most people never get out of financial chaos isn't because they lack discipline or intelligence. It's because they try to fix it all at once, get overwhelmed, and give up. Or they wait for a big moment, a raise, a tax refund, a windfall, something that will solve everything in one shot. And while they're waiting for that moment, the chaos continues compounding. The 180-day plan works because it breaks the whole thing down into phases small enough to actually execute, while still moving fast enough to create real change within a time frame your brain can stay motivated for. So, let's make this real concrete before we wrap up. Day 1. Not tomorrow, tonight. Open a notes app or grab a piece of paper and write down every debt you have, every balance, every interest rate. Just getting it all visible in one place is the first act of taking control. Day 2, go through your last 2 months of bank statements and find every recurring charge. Cancel anything you haven't used in the last 30 days, no exceptions. Day 3, open a high-yield savings account if you don't already have one and set up an automatic transfer of even $25 a week into it. That's your emergency fund starter. Automatic, so you don't have to think about it. These 3 moves alone in the first 72 hours will put you further ahead than most people get in months, because most people stay stuck, not because they don't know what to do, but because they never actually start. Here's the truth I want you to carry with you. 6 months from right now, your financial life can look genuinely, meaningfully, measurably different. Not perfect, not rich, but stable, in control, with a cushion between you and the next emergency, with debt actually going down instead of up, with a plan that you understand and trust. That is not a fantasy. That is a completely achievable reality for anyone willing to follow a specific plan and stick with it through the discomfort of the first few weeks. The chaos you're feeling right now is not your destiny. It is just your current starting point. And every single journey out of financial chaos starts with one decision. The decision to stop waiting for the perfect moment and just begin. So begin today, right now. You've already started by being here. All right, if this hit home for you, you already know the vibe. Hit like, subscribe to the channel, and yeah, tap that bell icon so you don't miss what's coming next.